Your car is everything. Your taxi, your moving van, your baby. And for over 30 years, AutoZone has had the parts you can count on to keep it going. Get in the zone! The Twilight Zone.
Okay, now it's recording.
Hello. My name's Ryan.
And I'm Jared.
Welcome to In the Zone.
The Twilight Zone.
Yes. This might strike you as a slightly odd choice for a podcast because it's a good show that people like and have a lot to say about.
But
which usually is not.
We have more to say about it.
I don't even know if that's true.
No, we don't.
I didn't want to torture myself. I'm already sad. I want to know what's something I already like.
Yep.
So neither of us have any qualifications. We're not comedians or anything. You should not be watching this.
I like to consider myself a comedian on a good day.
That's valid. I would say the same. So the first one we watched, Where Is Everybody? The Twilight Zone pilot episode.
Is it considered the pilot or is it just episode 1?
I believe it's the pilot.
Here,
Isn't that usually what episode 1 is? That's what it says on the wiki page.
The wiki page says Where Is Everybody is the first episode of the Twilight Zone.
Right, but then if you go
yes.
into the blurb, it says, "Thus began the first episode of the Twilight Zone, the pilot, the half hour that sold the series." And then there's
okay, so I assume they made this, I guess, like as like a thing, as a selling thing. Like, hey, here's the Twilight Zone. We want to sell it to you, and then we'll make more.
It's a good pitch. It's a good pitch for what the show is.
Yeah, it's very simple in concept.
But yes, it's very simple, and it has all of the elements that sort of make the Twilight Zone what it is.
Like, I mean, honestly, if every episode was like some sort of like very simple mystery like this, I'd already be sold on it. I love little things like this, but like
it's great.
Apparently they take it more into more places than I can think of now.
They do. It gets very, very sci-fi. There's 2 episodes that are on right now. Little spoiler. Jared's seen a couple of these.
I've seen 2
that I know of, because I watched this whole show with my dad like 3 or 4 years ago. And there's 2 episodes that I remember there's an episode where there's aliens in a diner. I remember there's an episode that neither me or my dad could sit through. It was genuinely really bad. It was about like silent film comedians or something. I don't remember what was sci-fi about it.
That doesn't, I mean, unless they're like alien silent film comedians.
But I don't even know if they were just doing the bits. It was like Three Stooges.
I mean, I'd watch the Three Stooges, but I'm not sure I'd watch like a extended commentary on the Three Stooges in the form of a Twilight episode.
We'll get there.
I just called it Twilight.
Excited.
Be prepared for me to call it Twilight many times.
It's basically the same, vampires.
Is there a vampire episode?
I'm sure there is. I know there. Yes, I. You know what I think it is, and I might be wrong. I think it's an episode that has all the trappings of a vampire episode, but it actually ends up being a werewolf episode.
Oh.
Unless I am complete, I believe there's a werewolf castle at some point.
Werewolf castle.
Unless I am completely out of my mind, which is definitely possible.
I mean, after watching a Twilight Zone episode, you're a little bit out of your mind.
You're definitely susceptible to that brain space.
Like I'm running off of 2.5 brain cells right now, so.
That's my default.
I'm usually 2.6.
Oh man, so you're running at a deficit.
Yeah. So it's let's do a little overview of what events occur in this particular episode of the Twilight Zone. First of all, we have this guy. His name,
Mr. Mike Ferris.
Well, he doesn't know his name.
Right, but we do.
We don't actually. He doesn't say. I don't think it's said until the very end.
That's true. We don't know it yet.
Okay, so this nameless guy, who remembers nothing, just exists all of a sudden. He just exists, and he's just walking along a road and existing as you do.
I try.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to do that sometimes, but this man's doing it, and
He stumbles across a town of some description.
yes,
Well, he stumbles across a diner,
and then a
and he
town.
goes up there to ask about the town, and there's no one in the diner. And he says something about having money and being hungry.
Yeah, so he's really flexing that cash that he has on him.
Yeah, $2.87.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot of money.
At the time, that would be like like a diner
that's
food.
a
That'd be like
breakfast.
$15 or something.
That's a breakfast.
Yeah.
So basically, the entire episode is just him going insane because there are no people around.
As he immediately gets on tell, he says that the titular line, I want to say about halfway through. Is it right before it gets into the phone booth?
What is the line?
Where is everybody?
Where is everybody? I feel like the phone booth is like the breaking point for him.
Yeah, because he forgets how to open a door.
Yeah, like he's literally pushing on the like inward opening hinge, thinking it opens outward, and so this guy does not have an engineering degree, apparently.
He would not make it on Well, There's Your Problem.
No, he would not make it on Well, There's Your Problem. I like how we've already mentioned Well, There's Your Problem, and we're only 10 minutes into the first episode of this podcast. Have you listened to it? Have you listened to it?
I've listened to a couple episodes. I like what I've heard so far.
It's good. That's good. That was my like what's the word, initiation into podcasts, really, because I didn't really listen to them because I associated them with like my dad forcing me to listen to them in the car. So I forced him to listen to Well, There's Your Problem, and he hated it. So
your dad would hate it
because it wasn't professional enough or something.
Your dad seems mostly cool, but he has weird hang-ups about very specific things.
I love you, Dad. Okay. Anyway, we are already off topic. So
we're already talking about different, better podcasts.
Yeah, Okay.
So he forgets how to use a door.
Yes.
Is this? No. Okay. There's a fade, and when we come back, he's playing tic-tac-toe with himself in the dirt.
Oh yeah, no. So yeah, the where is everyone? I think that's the fade. That's the right after the phone booth.
I think you're right.
I like
we just watched it.
We're spending most of the time just reconstructing what happened in the episode, like 10 minutes after we just watched it. So he says, "Where is everybody?" He's doing tic-tac-toe, which would not be my first choice of something to do in the ground. Well, seeing that he is one person playing a game of tic-tac-toe.
That's true.
Like
one man hangman. Come on.
Could this man not like scratch out some solitaire on the ground?
Playing hangman solo.
Oh my god. I mean, he does have amnesia, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just didn't know what word he used as the word for hangman.
He would never be able to win.
The best version of hangman is where you draw the hangman, like make the little line at the bottom with the number of letters, and then you hit your head really hard on the ground so you don't remember it.
Okay. I don't have a follow-up for that. I just appreciate that image very much. Then is this when like the lights go off on the movie theater?
Oh no, they go on.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean,
yes.
Sorry.
It's nighttime now, and the movie theater is like, hey, it's time to turn on the lights, and then it just goes, whew,
yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's like, whoa, why are the lights on? And then,
much like a moth, a confused moth.
He goes towards the light, which is not what they tell you to do. And it's playing a movie. There's a movie playing, and it's called War or something. I forgot. What was the name of the movie, Ryan?
It's a real movie.
It's a real movie. I looked it up.
I remember what it's called.
I have it open in IMDb. Hold up. It's called... It's starring Rock Hudson. It is called... It's Battle Hymn.
We missed the part where sorry, I'm going on the Wikipedia because it does a better job remembering the episodes than I do.
Yes.
We missed the part where he goes into the drugstore and sees the cover for a book called Last Man
Oh
on Earth,
yes, yes. That's pretty good. Is that a real book?
which I want to say it is.
I'm gonna look it up.
Um, Anyways, that's one thing that's great about the Twilight Zone is that even though it is at times, for like a cheesy television show, very subtle and very well constructed, it is also just astonishingly on the nose when it wants to be.
Yeah, I mean this is the pilot. They're kind of like selling the
Right.
idea, so they kind of got to be on the nose. Otherwise, people just walk out like, "What was that?" And it was like the
Yeah.
50s. Like I'm
It was
surprised
the
this got.
50s.
I'm surprised this got aired in the 50s.
I am too. Apparently, Rod Serling was not originally the choice to be the narrator because he's the person who created the show. He's not a
Hmm.
narration guy; he's a writer. That's crazy because his voice is so like integral to what the show
Yeah.
is.
It does his voice only show up at the beginning of this episode?
It shows at the beginning of each episode.
Yeah, is that? But is that it? Is that all he
I
does?
believe so.
Because I feel like I
He
recall
does.
it there being like a
Does he
bigger
do an
role for
outro?
him.
I think he comes on screen and talks at the beginning, and then sometimes talks at the end without coming on screen,
He's
unless I'm
like,
very mistaken.
he's like, okay, now class, it is time for you to discuss the episode. Please write a 15-page essay before tomorrow.
I hope you took notes. There will be a quiz.
I did not take notes.
This is the quiz, and we're failing it.
This is the quiz.
Um, the movie is Battle Hymn, and he sees it, and he goes, "Oh my God, I'm in the Air Force." I assume Battle Hymn is about the Air Force.
Yeah, how did he know? How did he look at that and say, "Oh yeah, I'm in the Air Force"? Like I'm
Well, he
looking,
must have had some knowledge of Battle Hymn, but not knowledge of who
like
he
I'm
is.
looking at the poster. Oh my god, it pushed me all the way back to the beginning of the list of movies. Hold up, there it is. Yeah, I'm looking at the poster, and it's like not obvious that that is like Air Force. Like it, I
I
don't know.
mean,
This man is
you
smart.
if either of us have living relatives that are in the Air Force and known for being in the Air Force,
No, I literally have no relatives that have ever been in the military.
my uncle used to be in the Navy, but I think that's it. Anyway, I could not tell you what an Air Force uniform looks like to begin with.
And it's yeah. So he walks into this movie theater with the lights on as we've established,
Yes.
and and the movie comes on because that's what happens when
Yeah.
you go to a movie theater. The movie comes on, but this
Yeah.
man is very surprised by the movie coming on. I don't know why.
Well, he's very surprised because he hasn't seen anyone. Where do the
Ryan,
movies
no.
come from, Jared?
You go into a movie theater, the movie comes on. That's what you do. This
You're
man
right.
should
I'm
not be
sorry.
complaining. He got in there for free.
He did get in there for free. He gets to watch a movie.
But granted, it did seem like the movie came on like halfway through, which is not usually how it works.
Not usually.
It's like
Very
right,
rare.
it's like already the action scene. So
Yeah. And he goes, "Wait, I'm in the Air Force." And then he sees where movie come from, Projector,
he's like,
and he's like, "Who's running the pictures?" He kind of sounds like that.
yeah, that's exactly what he sounds like.
It's
And I'm
he
like,
sounds deeper and less boyish. Um,
yeah,
but
who's running the
it's sorta
pictures?
like
Which
that.
is something that no one has ever said.
Yeah. Um,
They really do be just flipping the pictures back and forth.
it's just a Dr. Seuss book.
Oh no.
He goes up there. I didn't even know you could get up there,
Yeah,
but I guess you have to if you work
bit
there.
of a
I don't know why
spoiler.
that was
There's no one
surprising me.
there's no one running the pictures.
Can you believe it?
No. At this point, I
There's
can't.
someone up there. They're just very small.
No. Do not turn this into a Dr. Seuss movie.
Sorry. Um,
What did I
and
say?
then
Yeah.
he runs out of the theater, and he starts banging on a walk button.
Yeah, apparently
um,
beg buttons existed back then too, which is sad. 'Cause
Yeah.
beg buttons suck.
Bummer.
We pedestrians hate beg buttons.
Yes, as proud pedestrians, we are enemies of the beg buttons.
I ain't begging to fucking walk.
If you hit me, you hit me. It's your fault.
So Yeah, and that's basically where it ends. Well, no, it's not where it ends, but that's where that part ends. Where all of a sudden,
He's
oh
smacking
wait,
on the button.
oh wait, he's
The
not in a
walk
town.
button.
He's in a cube. This man was a cube.
He was just in a cubicle.
He's in a cubicle. Yeah, that would have been a great plot twist. Holy shit! If it was like just in an office cubicle.
I think had it been like in the era after the release of like Fight Club and that stuff,
Yeah,
where
that.
like American popular culture was really getting sick of capitalism without knowing how to say it,
Yeah, if this
and we
was
still
like
kind of are there.
the late '80s, early '90s.
It may have been a cubicle.
Yeah, but
But anyway, walk button actually correlates to a panic button, and he's banging on a clock over and over like a tiny clock, and it's gonna cut up his hands real bad. It seems
yeah,
like.
but I'm surprised he hadn't cut him already because he's banging on this broken glass.
Yeah.
But
Um,
but apparently that it looks like the same clock that he knocks over at the beginning of the episode in the
it
diner.
does. I didn't
Like,
even think about that.
no, that's like the first thing I thought of. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the clock he broke.
Way more observant than me. That's definitely right.
Yeah, so
It's a panic button, and he hits it, and they're like 6 dudes just watching him freak the fuck out. I'm like, all right, take him out of there.
like had he like he'd been like in the dream world or whatever, the fifth dimension or whatever the heck it's called. He had been panicking for quite a while. So was that the
It seems
point
like
where they
it.
just
He didn't. The button is a panic button.
I know, but
I
like
don't know how they expect him to hit that button if he's not cognizant of at all of his surroundings.
yeah, were
but
they
I guess he got
observing
lucky.
him? Were they observing him the entire time? Or did they only do it when he hit the panic button?
I assume they must have been, right? That's sort of the point of being able to observe him.
And they also like hesitated a little bit.
That's
Even
true.
as he's pressing the button like
And
feverishly.
crying.
Well, crying.
Screaming and crying.
They're like, okay, take him out.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
We
plot
learn,
twist, military experiment.
yeah.
This man is
As I
astronaut
spoiled earlier by accident, man's name is Mike Ferris.
Mike Ferris, played by
He was
Earl Holliman. If any of you know that name,
he was in some stuff.
he
He was in
did
some space stuff, wasn't he?
yeah. So like the next year, he was in a movie called like something Little Planet. So he was in like a space movie literally a year afterwards, and then like a couple years before
Yeah.
that he was in another one about a planet of some sort. So this man really gets around
Yeah.
with the space shit.
Yeah, this guy gets around with the space movies. Kind of typecast as Space Boy. I hope
Yeah.
you can't hear one of my sweet mates screaming.
Oh, I can hear him perfectly well.
I'm very glad to know it.
It's almost his
so yeah.
bedtime.
It's almost as that's a different one.
Okay, so
We need to get someone on track. Okay, so
we need like a
military
third
experiment.
person to like to police us.
Keep our shit in check.
Like 2 is just enough where it's like if the entire time is just trying to fill time between the time that the other person stopped talking. A little bit.
Okay. So it's a military experiment because they're training him to be sent up in like a solo mission to space.
Which is fucking
To the moon,
stupid.
specifically. Yeah, it seems like a bad idea.
To the moon, at least.
Yeah, well, to the moon specifically.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It seems like a pretty bad idea.
And they're like, "Oh, you'll be in here by yourself for 2.5 weeks."
Just like you were just now, except
Yes,
that time you'll really be alone.
and also that time you will be required to like operate a fucking spaceship
As
So-
one does.
as one does. So like, I hope you can hear the cars in Philadelphia just love to zoom down the street. Okay, that's what I hear when I'm going to bed at night.
That's
Every
that's
night.
pretty great. You want
Okay.
to know what I hear in the morning? I hear someone with a lawnmower at 700 million decibels and 3 distinct drummers practicing their drumming.
Okay. So yeah, military experiment. The press come and they're like they take him out of the cube, and the press come and they're like, "Hey, was it cool to really leave him in there for 2.5 weeks or something like that? Like, what are y'all doing?"
Like, yeah, we think so.
And like, is he okay and shit like that? And like, no, he's not okay. He fucking thought he was in a town.
He had a full-blown mental breakdown.
But apparently he's like actually kind of okay afterwards. Like he's responding.
They talked to him.
Yeah, he's like, they're like, how are you, Ferris? And I'm like, I'm feeling better. And it's been like 2 minutes since he got pulled out of that cube.
That's true.
So he had a rapid recovery there.
What we can assume to be the director of the program says something to the press to the effect of like, we can make a spaceship habitable for people physically, but we can't replace human companionship, basically.
So that's the moral of the story. Humans together strong.
Apes together strong.
I
Good
know.
moral.
But human just smart monk.
That's true.
That's true. But we're not smart enough to be on our own, I guess.
We're not smart enough to be together. And I felt that in the age of the coronavirus, it was somewhat poignant.
Yeah, I really have felt like Monk not together these past
I
couple
have
months.
felt very strongly like Monk not together. Apes not together, and we have not been very strong.
No, we have not. And we're all fucking dying of coronavirus, so that's fun.
Yeah.
So, what's our little conclusion from this episode? Is it in terms of like you've seen all or most of the Twilight Zone?
I have at some point seen all 186.
Is there that many?
How many? 156.
Oh God.
We won't do this every week. It'll be sporadic, I promise.
Okay, good, because it's unprofessional and we don't know how to keep a schedule.
Absolutely.
So, in the context of all the other 156 Twilight Zone episodes that you've seen, where does this rank? Don't even like tell me like about the plot or of any other ones, but just like tell me like
Just in
generally where does this rank?
From what I remember, I want to say it's like maybe not top 10, but top 20.
Top 20.
Because
okay,
it's not as out there, but that's kind of its strength, I think.
Yeah, it's very simple. Very simple. It gets to the point. There's no
pretty grounded for this show.
Yeah.
And it's easy to understand, and especially for old TV, the filmography is really like effective and like kind of artsy.
Oh no,
like
there's the specific shot of the mirror.
We both just went, "Whoa, that's cool," and then said, "Whoa, that's cool" for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the movie theater where he's like running down the stairs towards the camera, but he runs into a mirror. So like it looks like he's just running towards the camera, but then he boxes into a mirror and it shatters.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's running like into the lobby.
Yeah,
like, it's like the mirror is like perfectly reflecting the lobby. He just runs straight, bang into a mirror, and it's just honestly my favorite shot of the whole thing.
It's really well done. And then immediately after that, he stumbles over himself and falls on the ground trying to get.
Oh, that's my second favorite shot.
I think that's my favorite shot.
Like it looks like he's about to like run and get on a bike, but he just stumbles over the bike, just like like more like dumb than I've ever seen someone stumble over a bike.
It was a professional stumble.
That was no, I said more dumb.
He had to train for it.
No, it was very well acted, that stumble. He probably hurt himself.
How long is it going?
Probably 20 minutes. I don't know.
Okay. I don't know how long you want to make these.
I can't even, it doesn't even tell. Oh, it does say 23 minutes, 38 seconds. Okay. So.
I don't want to artificially reach any specific time. I just want to get a general feel.
Yes, this is the pilot episode. Or I guess in the episode 1. Because we're not going to call it the pilot. So. I mean, I really liked this particular episode as it's the first one I've seen in a while, and not just because of that, but it's because I really like stories of just like mystery where you literally the audience has no idea what the heck is going on, and there are no clues as to what is going on until like the plot twist happens.
There's a lot of good episodes like that, but this is so concentrated. Like this is. Outside of like the more sci-fi fantastical stuff the Twilight Zone does, this is like the Twilight Zone condensed.
Yeah.
You could inject it into your veins and like understand what the Twilight Zone is.
Very easy to overdose on this. It's very condensed.
Yes,
Um,
but it's really good. Do you have a rating out of 10
out of
you wanted to
10,
give it?
I would say in the context of all good mystery that I've seen, I'd like to give it like an 8.
I was gonna say like a nine, eight and
9.
a half.
Like a strong 8.
Yeah, no, I get you. I was gonna go like 9.
Because I mean it's hard to get like that type of mystery all into one episode, 40, what is it, 20 minutes long.
Exactly.
And like I've seen stuff like The Promised Neverland, which is like another mystery where like,
Several episodes.
and they do fit like the twist into one episode, but then it's just like they build off of that. So it'd be interesting if this was like I guess the type of twist that they had in this specific episode was like a very conclusion twist. Like, oh, it's just like it was just an experiment. It's
Yeah,
okay now.
uh,
Here's the moral of the story.
the twists in the show are very much like that. It's sort of like the example I have to give actually isn't from the Twilight Zone. It's that one Goosebumps episode where it's Camp Nightmare,
Oh
and
my
at the end
god.
it just turns out that everything the kid went through was set up to test him to go to a different planet. And he says, "Where are we going?" And his mom goes, "It's called Earth." That's kind of like what the Twilight Zone is a
Uh,
lot of the time.
yeah. It's just like that just like you think for a minute. You just have to sit there and think for a minute like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
good.
very much like it's fun, and it's done a lot better in this than it is in fucking Goosebumps.
Yeah.
But
Because
it isn't. It doesn't raise more questions usually.
yeah, it's a very like to the point twist. It's kind of the I guess it's like this might be spoilers for Promised Neverland because I mean it's literally the first episode, but yeah, spoilers. Like it's kind of like the opposite of that type of twist where in the Promised Neverland the twist is like everything is fine and then the twist happens and then everything is not fine. Whereas this everything is
Right.
not fine and then the twist happens and everything is fine.
Right.
It's in the opposite direction. So that's kind of how you get those twists where um,
You can
you can
continue to
there's
build
nothing
on
to
it.
build off of the end when the
Yeah.
twist is that everything is fine because you've got the conclusion. But
Right.
it'd be I mean I wonder how many Twilight Zone episodes have a twist where the thing is where it's not fine, where they start out in like a normal world and then that the thing
I
happens.
know. There's a lot of episodes where things aren't fine, and then things aren't fine for a different reason.
Interesting. Because I feel
Um,
like you have to
like
have like a
it's
long
resolved.
thing to
It
have
gets
the
resolved, but I hesitate to say that everything is fine.
yeah. Things are certainly not fine, but definitely not fine.
Yes, they are resolved. The mystery has been solved.
So you know, like what I was saying is that it's a lot harder to condense those like not fine twists where everything is not fine, because you have to build off of that. Like, you can't just leave things not fine. It has to be fine,
Yeah, it has to be fine to some degree.
unless you're like I don't know Evangelion or something. But
It's true.
actually, I don't want to spoil end of Evangelion. I'll leave that.
Yeah,
That's a lot more to spoil. But so yeah, so that's just kind of like my thoughts on that. It's a
I
very
think
interesting, very condensed twist that really just
it's
leaves you satisfied.
yeah, it's maybe not as like what's the word? Like as artsy. I could find a better word, but for a serialized, not even serialized, just like purely episodic sort of show, I feel like you have to do that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And especially again, I'm not a historian, but from what I know about the history of television, this show was insanely ambitious for TV of the time.
Yeah. At the time, I mean, what else was on the air at this time?
And
Like,
I Love Lucy,
yeah. I mean,
the news.
the news. Oh, the news.
It's my least favorite show.
That's my least favorite television show. Man, I just can't binge watch that.
I can't binge watch the news. and
So
and normally, just to be clear up front, the two things I would conclude with, I plan to conclude with in the future are rating out of 10 and MVP. But there's really only one character in this,
mhm.
so I think my MVP is the very small man who turns the film crank.
Yes. The
I think
the fucking gnome. There's just a gnome that
film
turns the
gnome.
film crank and then waddles off and then
Yeah,
goes
I
and
think the
stars in
film gnome
Romeo
has
and
to be my
Juliet.
favorite. Ew, Sherlock gnomes.
Oh god. Next episode is going to be our reactions to Sherlock Gnome.
Bonus episode.
Bonus episode.
If 4 people watch this,
I
if we have,
consider that a success.
yeah, I consider that enough of a success that we watch for Sherlock gnomes.
And we probably will be sending this to 4 people. I still consider that a success. If four
I absolutely
four
consider
of
that.
the 4 people we send this to watch it.
I absolutely consider that a victory.
Okay.
All right. I guess that's our conclusion.
That's the show. Bye, everyone.
Watch this. I'm giving this one a watch this episode out of 10.
Okay.
This one's good.
That's a number, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Watch this.
So